limits, man. Whoa. Okay, calm down.
Should we show a video, or do you?
No, let's do it.
Okay.
Abby's triggered. We need to show
I'm
some
triggered.
videos.
We're all triggered. We're all triggered.
All right,
Let's hear from Donald Trump and hear his platform.
Oh, do you want to hear Trump first or
Trump first?
Biden?
Well, wait,
first?
hold on. I think we have, because queued up. I think we should.
Okay.
We have Biden.
Yeah, this is
inspiring.
This is
very
our
inspiring.
opposition
This
for the vote blue no matter who people. Let's see what he's got.
This is the guy standing between Trump and democracy, apparently. Let's take a look at what he has to say about Palestine.
Oh, God.
Controlled Gaza Health Ministry says Israeli forces have killed over 6,000 Palestinians, including 2,700 children. You've previously asked Netanyahu to minimize civilian casualties. Do these numbers say to you that he is ignoring that message?
What they say to me is I have no notion that the Palestinians are telling the truth about how many people are killed. I'm sure innocents have been killed. And that's the price of waging a war. I think we should be incredibly careful. I think not we, the Israelis should be incredibly careful to be sure that they're focusing on going after the folks that are propagating this war against Israel. And it's against their interest when that doesn't happen. But I have no confidence in the number that the Palestinians are using.
First of all, how insulting is it that the journalist was like, the Hamas-run health ministry
seriously.
says
I have no
Does
notion
he ever
the
talk about the
Palestinians are telling
Likud
the
run
truth.
anything?
Yeah, Likudnik run anything. Remember when Joe Biden said to a guy who questioned him, I think it was like
Shut
about
your
immigration
face?
or something. No, he was like, you're
Shut up, fatty.
sedentary.
Oh, sedentary. Yeah,
he
that
was
the
like,
one.
he was like,
"Listen,
see
fat,
the problem?
Listen, fat."
Listen, fats. You're sedentary. That's
Yeah.
the problem.
He's like, you want to get
And
up
then he
here?
challenged
Yeah.
him to like a push-up
Yeah,
contest.
yeah,
It's just
so
like, what on
ridiculous.
earth is
Joe Biden?
happening?
Yeah, then he called some other a stone-faced pony.
See,
Remember
that solidified
Do you
my vote
remember
for him. I was
Corn
like,
Pop?
yeah,
Does
dude.
anyone here
Of
remember
course.
Corn Pop?
Bad dude, very bad dude.
Very bad dude. Corn Pop was a very bad dude. But so
He
that's
called him Esther Williams.
I mean-
that gives you a sense of how in touch the guy is.
Look, this is 2 months into this that Joe Biden still was saying he saw the 40 beheaded
Yeah.
babies,
Oh,
right? I mean,
no.
when he said that, I literally thought Netanyahu had rendered like an AI image. Because I was like, oh, like
It's not just that he said that once. And when he said that, this is very important. He said that against the advice of his staff, who told him, we don't think that's necessarily true. Okay, fine, he said it. Then he said it a second time after that, and then he said it a third time. So this is a guy, remember, I thought Trump was the one who's supposed to be the liar, the fake news guy. But Biden is allowed to lie out of his ass, and no one will call him on it ever. And if you do, you're helping Trump.
But he said he was a Zionist, though.
That he is honest about.
He said
That's
he was
not
a
a
Zionist,
lie.
and he didn't say it just now.
No, he said it a bunch of times.
A whole bunch of times, and he said it in 1983.
Yeah, and if Israel didn't exist,
he
we'd have to
said
create
it,
one.
He meant it.
Yeah.
And I think we need to believe these people when they tell us who they are. Like, this is the most toxic relationship we've ever been in, and we continue to be in it. Like, really?
Okay, it is. It's like being with someone. It's like being with someone, and the women in the room know what I'm talking about. It's like being with someone who you know sucks, but he tells you, oh, but you don't, like, everyone else sucks.
Right.
More than me.
What are your other options?
Like, what are your options? I'm broke. I don't do anything for you.
No one's gonna
I don't know how to fix anything.
No
I
one's
don't
gonna
cook. I
love
don't
you like I love you.
And
No one's gonna love you like I love you. And you're like, oh.
It's like, at least I won't grab you by the pussy.
However, I will say this. So I also don't want to downplay that Trump does pose a different kind of danger. And I think we have a couple clips, and I want to hear your response, because that's what we're going to hear throughout this election.
Yeah.
It's okay. Biden. That's his new name, by the way. Biden. No, I like that for him. Biden, okay, we're going to hear, oh, Biden, yeah, okay, so he committed a genocide. Yes. However, this guy will commit more. Yeah. And so that's what we're going to hear. I want to hear your response to that, but first let's play a couple clips of Trump.
Let's hear Trump's
Let's hear Trump's plan for the country.
America, if you want to abolish Israel, if you sympathize with jihadists,
I like the music.
We don't want you in our country,
Very
and
sad.
you're not going to be getting into our country. I will cancel the student visas. Hamas,
All the Hamas students.
college campuses. The college campuses are being taken over. And all of the resident aliens who joined in the pro-jihadist protests this month, nobody's
At
ever
least he's
seen anything
entertaining.
like
I'll give him that.
Come 2025, we will find you and we will deport you. And
I mean, I'm
members,
sold.
one of the things we're going to do on one of my platforms that people don't pick up as much as they should, though, but we're going to build an iron dome over our country because we want to protect ourselves. We're giving other countries, we give iron domes to other countries, but we don't do it to all made in the USA. You know, I had no wars. I'm the only president in 72 years. I didn't have any wars.
I don't know what to say to you.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
pause
wait,
that.
that's-
So.
So
Yeah.
I think, okay, a couple of things here. Like, I think, obviously, that's real. Like, we laugh at it, but when Trump is threatening to deport people, not to say Biden isn't, because he's continued deportations,
big time.
all the stuff that Democrats do but cry about when Republicans are president. But Trump is threatening to ruin people's lives. So I'm curious, like, what is your response to that thing that's going to be used, the gun to our head that Abby was talking about?
Like you're helping Trump if you're
Yeah.
taking away a vote from Biden. That thing.
It's fear mongering, right? Like the Democrats don't earn votes. If you earn a vote, it's because you actually do something to earn it. What they do is fear monger and bribe people and bully people into voting for them. And they put this threat out, which is a real threat. The threat of fascism, the threat of the far right is real, but it's not new. It's not a new threat, and it's something that they utilize constantly every 4 years to say, vote blue no matter who. And to what extent do we allow that to continue to be the narrative? To what extent do we continue to, allow ourselves to be used, abused by this two-party
Gaslit.
system
Yeah.
that does not do anything for us? So when they are talking about, now is like, yeah, it's anew the whole democracy, the defense of democracy. And they'll utilize, January 6th and what happened and all the horrible things that Trump did. And the reality is that another term of Trump would be horrific, because that means that they would be coming back more organized to do even more harm than what they did. But do you really want to follow Biden to that fight? Like, really? Like, following Biden will only bring back the far right. And so I think we need to start thinking beyond this two-party system that has been offered to us, that has been imposed on us by a ruling class that does not care about our concrete conditions as working class people. They don't offer solutions, because Biden could have, in the 2 first years of his term, codified Roe versus Wade. He could have legalized abortion nationally, and he didn't do that.
You mean he could have done the same thing that he sidestepped Congress to send Israel all these weapons
Oh,
to
right,
do
yeah.
like, things for us?
I mean, you have a president that bypasses Congress.
Yeah, but to
provide-
do really, good things, like kill people.
Right, to kill people, but does not think of doing executive orders to actually support working class people's needs in this country, who has billions of dollars to throw to a war that, first of all, they completely discouraged negotiations from, which is the proxy war in Ukraine, because they discouraged it and blocked it, because it's in their interest to be able to advance NATO, right?
And weaken Russia.
And weaken Russia. And they did that, and that's fine. They support economically, like, we're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars towards Israel that did not start October 8th. We're talking about billions, almost $4 billion a year. New York State is $300 million that goes straight to Israel, while people here are in deep economic crises that have to actually make very, very horrible decisions, whether they eat or they pay for childcare. Like, you have 2 million children, babies, who lost access to healthcare in this country. And so if we're not infuriated in the lack of decency, the lack of humanity of the Democratic Party, and we don't build a third option, then we're playing ourselves. We're totally playing ourselves. And we cannot continue to do the same thing over and over and expect a different result. The Republicans and the Democrats are not going to help us. We need to build our own instruments.
Absolutely. It inspires me so much to see Gen Z leading this struggle, like leading the fight against genocide, against apartheid, being out in the streets, and they do not watch corporate media.
That's right.
Right? It's totally obsolete, the political establishment. We know that the Biden administration, whatever the outcome is, they will blame the left and they'll blame the youth. But I think that just shows that it is changing.
That's right.
And that people are not going to buy into this anymore. They're not going to be gaslit. And we are going to fight for a revolution in this country.
And ultimately, electoral politics have never been the force of change. They have never. Everything we've gotten because people have organized movements to receive that. Right. So we do the work, and they get the credit.
Right.
Like, we need to be able to build a force of working class people in this country that not only build the solutions, but have power and control over what we produce and over our future.
It's also so funny because you get all, sorry, I was compliment. I don't want to put my mic down.
Are we all doing that?
Okay. It's so funny because all these people try to bully, vote shame people. And it's like, if you actually cared about getting Biden in, why not pressure that one person? Like when it comes to Palestine, why not pressure him to stop the genocide, as opposed to this amorphous group of people you have no control over? It's almost as if Biden has no agency.
Yeah, and he has all the agency.
Right, of course.
Like
yeah.
a phone call from the White House to Netanyahu
Yeah.
would have stopped it.
Like Ronald Reagan did.
And Biden needs to be punished.
He's a war criminal. He's a war criminal, and he's decided to be a war criminal over and over and over. He's decided to be a war criminal over 20,000 times.
Yep.
That's how many
Every
times.
bomb.
I guess he is more experienced than Trump then.
Listen,
in that.
yeah.
Well, can we just nip that in the bud that Trump's like, oh, I never started a war? Yeah, that's because Iran didn't retaliate against your ass.
That's right.
And that's because Venezuela didn't retaliate against your ass. And do you want to go over the draconian sanctions regime? And do you want to go over the drone strikes
Which
that you
Biden
increased 400%?
hasn't removed, of course, but yeah.
So please, let's
Biden
no.
added more sanctions on
Trump
Cuba.
is not more quote unquote anti-war. He would be
He's
giving the
continued.
exact same
He's continued all
carte blanche to Israel
That's
that
right.
Biden is
I
doing.
think
Although he's mad at Netanyahu because Netanyahu didn't like go along the Soleimani plan with him.
Wait, Biden's mad at Netanyahu?
No. Trump is mad at Netanyahu. He's like, he's very weak. He's very weak. Because he
Well,
don't want
Netanyahu, he stays in Jared Kushner's apartment when he comes here. I mean, that's how close these people are
By
together.
the way,
and
totally
brings his laundry with him.
off topic, but you guys, the Netanyahu and his wife, they schlep their laundry from Israel to the White House when they come to the United States. It's not even it sounds like a punchline about like your dirty laundry. They literally bring their dirty laundry with them in bags.
Maybe it comes out smelling like extra special if you get it done at the White House.
That's
Yemeni guy is going to turn into the dirty house.
That's an anti-Semitic hate crime right there, that he does that.
But
Why would you do that?
You know, I gotta say though, like I know that we make fun of Biden for being half asleep, and a lot of the times he does seem like it, and he's like falling. But I do think it's important to recognize that you said he has repeatedly said he's a Zionist. He says if there wasn't an Israel, we'd have to create an Israel. He means that. He's an ardent American imperialist. He basically supported segregation back in the day. He's a segregationist.
Anti-abortion.
And also,
Zionist.
like, the
He
other
also
thing.
said that busing was, he said that integration was like a rejection. No, he said that busing was a rejection of Black is beautiful.
Wait, what?
I'm not kidding.
I don't
He
even
said
understand. I don't
that
understand.
like busing is bad because it was integrating schools, and he was kind of trying to take the anti-assimilationist Black is beautiful. Like he
leave it
literally
alone.
pretended that.
Leave Black alone. Let it stay together. Like, is that what I don't even
yeah,
understand.
yeah. He was pretending to be yeah.
This guy's crazy.
Everyone in their spots. You don't need to mix and
Yeah,
mingle.
no, it's like literally the worst possible person be manning the ship right now during this, because even I saw a Times of Israel article that said, the former Prime Minister Menachem Begin, and he was even like Joe Biden. He was like this rogue senator got up and actually said like Israel should, essentially in so many words. Check out the article. I shit you not. Joe Biden like was the rogue voice being like, no, like women and children are totally legitimate targets like for Israel, and even Menachem Begin was like, no, that's going too far.
Right.
But you know what the crazy
it's
piece?
crazy.
Yeah, the crazy piece is also that the Democrats are not doing anything to kind of to stop him one,
And look at
or
Bernie.
to like hide
Look at
him out
Bernie.
and say, look, you're not gonna run this term because you're
that
just
too,
bad.
right.
You're bad for business.
Yeah.
Like they're not doing that. In fact, they're doing the opposite.
Yeah.
They're doing the opposite. And so I think we need to pay a lot of attention. Like they rather have Genocide Joe confront the far right.
Right.
Which means literally, my grandmother would say in Spanish, and I'll translate it, tú estás haciendo la cama para que el otro se acueste. Like, you're basically setting up the bed for the other one to come sleep on it, which is often what they do. Like, making it easy for the far right to come and do their term. And so I think we need to be really aware of how they've been playing us for as long as they've been.
But it's going to be
in a
your
lot of
fault
the
and Jill
polls.
Stein's fault,
Right.
right? It's
Yeah,
not going to
and
be the half of the
Susan
country.
Sarandon, don't
And
forget Susan Sarandon.
And Cornell
Yeah.
West. And Cornell West. And us for doing the show.
That's
and
right.
Russia Today watchers.
And RT, yeah.
But it's like, what about
Yeah.
the other half of the country that are eligible to vote that do not participate? It's the non-voter population. There's no incentive at all to reach
That's
people
right.
who have completely disassociated themselves from the political process.
People are hopeless around the electoral process because the electoral process has proven to be a sham with it in the capitalist system. And so more than offering people elections, we need to offer people building a movement. Like participating actively in building what we need. How is it that in the so-called democracy, we have two parties that control everything? Ballot access is shit. Like getting to petitioning, getting signatures, and I'm saying as someone who is in the process of doing that, it is meant for you not to have a third party option. Are we okay with that? When you talk about Venezuela as supposedly an authoritarian like government, and these people run even 21 different people for the presidential campaign, and it's one of the most rigorous processes for election. They talk about Cuba. Come on, man. Like, you had two parties, basically two heads of one body.
Yep.
Well, they always are silencing and ignoring the third parties. But what's so fascinating is that even within the two-party system, the Republicans are much more democratic than the Democrats are. Because say what you will about RFK Jr. and Marianne Williamson and Cenk Uygur, apparently, but he's running. But the Republicans at least talk.
Breaking news.
The Republicans at least have talk about the other people, and they have debates. We haven't heard anything from the other candidates. And the media totally ignores them. I mean, the media had DeSantis on all the time. They had on people who were
Vivek
polling
Ramaswamy,
who
who
was
was
polling lower than Williamson.
Peter
And
Thiel cut out,
it was just amazing how they didn't even have any. No one was shaming the media because the media controls the narrative, so no one even realized.
Yeah, just
that
making
these
them
people were
obsolete.
actually running.
Right,
Yeah.
they render them just completely obsolete.
Irrelevant,
And that's what the media does. That's what the corporate media does. It will just completely ignore you. You know, Israel will kill you.
You're not getting.
The U.S. media will just
Ignore
render
you.
I mean, how many
Right.
CNN
And let Israel
requests for
kill you.
interviews are you
By ignoring
getting
them.
each day?
Well, she couldn't do one tonight because of us. That's why I didn't want to book
She
you.
had to decline tonight. She had to decline CNN tonight to be here.
Yeah.
But I know we're getting to where we want to wrap up here. So I think what I'm hearing from Claudia is we need to this is our form of resistance here. Is building something different, building something that serves the working class, that serves the people of this country.